Hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Properly audible?
Yes, sir.
First of all, I congratulate all of you for a wonderful success of the commerce optional. You know, this year ranks with commerce in top 50. Can anyone tell? चलो मैं क्लास नहीं लेने लग गया, मैं क्लास की तरह नहीं बोलूंगा. So rank 16 by Madhav Agrawal, rank 23 by B Sivachandran, and rank 33 by Monica, sorry, 39 by Monica R. These are the ranks, right? And if you see marks are also wonderful. You must be knowing that this year UPSC has scaled down the marks of written. Last year it was 900 for the topper, but this year it is around 840 or 850 for the toppers, right? And highest marks in voice is very low, no? Highest marks in optional this year, pole science 280. Someone is having 75, someone is having 260. In commerce, we are also having matching marks. Monica got how much marks?
275, sir.
Monica got 275 marks. Madhav Agrawal got 264 or 65 marks, and B Sivachandran got 260 marks in commerce. आप प्लीज खड़े हो जाएंगे. So first I welcome कहाँ पर हो? ये So I welcome Shiva Chandran. Please come here, Shiva. I welcome Shiva Chandran, got 23rd rank, and Monica R got 39th rank. Lot of congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And this is no different from a wonder. Both of these are friends also, and both got success together. And I'm sure both will be living a good life together. I won't give the complete message, but half message is given to you, right?
Yes, sir.
And first, it is time to yes, yes,
sir. Thank you, sir.
yes. Please take Jeevan. Yes, Jeevan, please take. और मैं भी ले लेता हूँ सुभाने. ठीक है. You made two different slides. Okay. Earlier we were having face-to-face classes also, but now we are focusing on online because success requires best use of time. We have seen that the success of online candidates have been highest, and even you people didn't meet me. You are meeting face-to-face first time, but all the communication has been online.
Yes, sir.
So communication of or whatever guidance I provided to Shiva and Monica has been online, completely online. Even Madhav Agrawal, okay, he also met me in online mode most of the time. Just for meeting personally, sometimes he used to come to office. Right? So ladies first. So I'll ask Monica to tell her story, the effort, the complete struggle, and it should be in the form of how did you prepare for commerce, a brief preparation of GS also, right? A book list also, and thereafter B Sivachandran would be telling his story of complete preparation, and thereafter we'll take question answers. Question answers will take class. So first, listen to both of them, take their ideas, right? And I'll request Tell everything clearly, what you studied, what you didn't study, so that they get a clear-cut idea what to do, how to do, right? And even in between, if you interact, that is also there, so you can have this, right? So Monica, you start.
Yes, sir. I'll just take it.
आप वहाँ पे भी खड़े हो सकते हो, इसमें yes, you can speak.
So, am I audible to everyone? Okay. So, good morning, all of you. It's really happy to see you all. So, I'm Monica. So, I'm basically from Chennai, which is down south in Tamil Nadu. So, as sir already said, from Chennai to Delhi, traveling itself is like a huge cost, everything associated. But since we got everything through online, we didn't take that initiative of coming and meeting sir in person directly earlier. So, this is the first time I'm meeting him. If for my background, I'm a chartered accountant. I've got qualified in 2019. Post that, I took employment for close to 2 years, and then I started my civil services preparation after quitting my job entirely. So with respect to my optional, initially when I had to choose between various options which I had this dilemma of choosing between commerce or any other optionals like anthropology or sociology or anything which is there in the market, which we feel like is top scoring or anything, or which is more scoring like that. So what I did was, first I took the syllabus and read both the syllabus of other optionals and our optional. So the thing is, for me, since I am from, and I think most of you all will be from a commerce background. So when you read the syllabus, most likely you will be knowing all the terms which is there in the syllabus. So I felt the same way. The entire syllabus, when I read, commerce was more like I know it already. I just have to revise it. But when I read other subjects, the entire thing is completely new for me. So I thought, like, if I have to do something new entirely, it will cost me a lot of time. So I thought I will stick with commerce, and I then started. So first I did was to subscribe for the postal course that sir had, which provided me with all the notes and books and everything. So I got all the books through post and every other thing. But when I gave my 2023 prelims attempt, I was not prepared with optional, because what I did was I concentrated completely on prelims. I was only doing prelims. I was doing CSAT, and I was only doing that. But unfortunately, I couldn't clear that 2023 prelims. But I feel if I had cleared also, I wouldn't have done justice to mains, because I was not prepared with the optional and GS mains and other things. So after this prelims, when I failed in 2023, I sat down and started with commerce preparations. So in probably in the month of July, I started with commerce preparation. July to December, I read all the study materials that sir has given. Apart from that, I have also taken certain practical sums from CA Inter books, which is available in the websites of ICAI, which is free of cost. So I used to read the theory and practical problems from our sir's book. And then I used to solve the sums from the CA Inter books. And post which, for taxation alone, what I did was the practice manual, which was there with ICAI, I took the summary part of it and revised them. So this was my ultimate source. With respect to paper 2, I didn't read even a single book or any other thing apart from the 4 yellow color books that sir has given. So only those 4 books that I have taken, and I've read the book completely at least twice. And from each book, I've taken notes. While I'm reading the books or topics, I used to take notes for each topic. For example, for organizational behavior, there is close to 10 chapters in the book. So what I did was, for each chapter, I used to take 4 to 5 pages of notes, which is more like in a graph format, where you put a diagram and keep write only the main points. So I read the entire book for 2 times, and whatever notes I prepared, whenever I felt bored, I took those notes and revised. So this is how I did with my commerce preparations. So paper 2 might be a little new thing for us, because since we are all indulged in taxation, costing and other things, paper 2 will be like a new thing. But ultimately, paper 2 has a scope to write more. instead of paper 1. So I concentrated more on paper 2, and then I utilized this quotations, examples that sir used to send during the mains preparation. So these quotation and examples, you just have to read one quotation from each topic and then use them throughout your answers. So I think this was one different thing that I tried in my main exam versus my mock test. So it might be very surprising for you guys, but the mock test that I wrote just 2 weeks before my original main exam, paper 2, I scored only 82. And I felt very disheartening after seeing my paper 2 marks. I felt like I didn't make justice to it and all that. I made only one small difference from what I wrote in mock and what I wrote in the main. That is adding example to every point and adding quotations wherever possible. So these two differences I made in the final mains, and the marks elevated from like 82 to 135. So this is one thing. And second thing is, apart from preparations, apart from making notes, apart from doing all this taking notes and adding quotations, examples, one important thing that we have to do is writing test. Daily answer writing is more important. So we had enriched test series during our course of preparation, where the entire syllabus will be broken into small tests. I didn't miss even a single test. I wrote entirely all the tests, except for I didn't write the full mock. I wrote only one full mock, and I was not able to write the second full mock because the time was very short. But I felt I wrote all the enriched test series entirely, and I also revised these test series, whichever I wrote. So whenever the evaluated papers are coming, so they used to evaluate it in red and give, and I used to take green color pen. From the model answers, I used to write the points, whichever points is new, whichever points I can add. I used to write them alongside my answer sheets. So I revised these answers that I wrote in these enriched test series. I revised it at least 3 to 4 times. So throughout the preparation. So this is one thing that I did. So this is with respect to my commerce and accountancy optional. So first is, why choosing commerce and accountancy? I feel it saves a lot of time for us, because from a BCom background or from MCom or from CA, CMA, we have this high scope of reducing preparation time for paper 1. So it is very, it becomes very considerably less time comparing to others. And paper 2, I feel it's like 4 subjects. And in 4 subjects, once you see the syllabus, you know which all the area is very important. So once you got to know that, it will be very easy for you to figure out how much time is allocated. So I think that should be the prime reason why we should be taking commerce and accountancy. People may think that from other options there are 300, 400, and scores are, I mean, 300, 350 scores are very high. But honestly speaking, it does not matter if you're scoring good in optional or good in GS or anything. It should be a combination of all the things. That is, GS, you should be scoring decent. Optional, you should be scoring decent. And then personality test, you should be scoring decent, and everything should be aligned. For this, we just have to trust and put the consistent effort. So this is with respect to why. And then for commerce and accountancy, we have two different perspective. One is from preparing for the mains perspective, and second is to prepare for the personality test perspective. From mains perspective, the entire material whichever we are having now is sufficient. So if we are just having those materials, and we are able to make full utilization of it. So I would say this one thing: instead of sourcing so many materials, reading so many books, it's better to read the same book again and again, because that will be helpful for us to go and present or write the points very quickly and more presentably. So this is one thing. And so already I spoke about the materials and sources. So entire paper 2, I just read those yellow books that Ranker IAS have provided me. And for paper 1, I have taken notes for AS from our sir's PDFs, which he sends online. And for taxation alone, I read the practice manual from our CA Institute, where CA Inter, where the summary part of the entire book, whichever is available. And for FM and for costing, I just solved certain sums from CA Inter books. Only certain sums, not needed much. And next thing is PYQ. PYQ is the most important thing of all the preparation. So if you ask me if I have read through all the content, probably I would have read only 40% of the content. But if you ask me if I have read through PYQ, I have read 100% of the PYQ. Whichever is there, for whichever there is solution, you just have to revise and recollect the facts. You may feel that PYQ is not reflected in the actual paper, but it is not true. Somewhere or other, PYQs help you to like present your answers better. So PYQ is more important in our preparation. And next thing is the test series. I think most of the time we enroll the test series, but unfortunately what we do is we tend to skip them. We will not be able to write or reproduce, or we will not have time to allocate for them. But I think test series should be taken very seriously. For the chapter test series or the subject test series should be taken very seriously. It's okay if you score low, because I am a living example of it. I scored only 82 in the first 1 week before the actual exam, but I was able to change it to 135, which means our mindset should be to learn from the mistake and to correct it whenever we have the opportunity to do. Instead of just getting feeling depressed or sad about the low marks, it's better to learn wherever we have to change it. And next thing is, apart from all this, two things is most important whenever we are taking an unconventional way. So generally, commerce and accountancy is not a known optional for people. It's a different optional comparing to other civil servants. So whenever we are doing something which is unconventional, two things are most important. One is trust, and second is confidence. One is you have to trust your intuition, you have to trust yourself, and you should be ready to like, okay, I will do it, I can do it. Let the trends speak differently, let their surroundings speak differently, let everybody give different opinion. I am not bothered, I'm going to go ahead and go about it. Once you start to do it, all the help from everywhere will come and fall into place. So for example, for me, when I took commerce and accountancy, there were contemplations and people were telling other suggestions and everything. But I just sticked with commerce and accountancy because I felt like one day or other it will help me to go through. But after like going through, I had certain self doubts, like am I really good? Because paper one is like easy for a chartered accountant, but paper two is like ultimately new, because we have not read that anywhere. So in that case, I felt like am I making a correct decision, or is it okay? Because CA, we would have studied all the subjects in paper one as a different subject itself, but here suddenly it will become like an single subject together. So there will be a lot of self doubts. But whenever there is a self doubts, your confidence should overpower those self doubts. You should start telling to yourself, like, I have made the right decision and I am going to go ahead with it, and I will get all the help possible. So there is one particular instance that I want to tell. Like 2 weeks before the main exam, or to be precise, one day after I wrote my paper one full test in rankers, I called sir and I told that, sir, I am not feeling comfortable with paper one. Somehow I am feeling costing is not coming for me and I'm not able to do it. And sir told me, like, you don't bother about anything. You tell me how much is your confidence in FM. I said, yes, sir, FM is a bit confident for me, but costing is like zero. And then sir told me, like, you just see like costing theory. And he quoted the example of Garima Lohia ma'am. And he told, like, she also had this costing, she also was feeling difficulty with costing. So you just go ahead and like just read the theory, revise it. And he told three topics like ABC costing, process costing, and one more topic. He told all the three and he said, just see the PYQs of this and leave it about it. Don't think or worry more about it. You will just be doing fine. And I thought, okay, costing, if it's going to come, I'm going to leave that sum in the exam and I'm going to do FM and I'll do it good. All that I did. But anyways, I wanted to be sure. So what I did was process costing alone. I learned from Shiva. The like 1 week before the exam, I asked him to teach me and he taught me two problems from process costing. And when I entered into the exam hall, I thought, my mind was very fixed that I'm going to write two from section B and one from section A. Very good. We are going to go ahead and everything. But the moment question paper came, the choice changed, because there was a process costing sum, and which was the sum that he taught me, and which was a PYQ, and which was there in the mock test also. So I wrote two from section A and one from section B. So we never knew how our luck also plays a factor in our exam. So for that luck to pay, I feel we have to put the consistent efforts. We have to constantly concentrate, and we need to work on the things. So many times there will be a message from sir in the channel which says that please write the enriched test. So whenever I see that message, I used to feel guilt. Oh, today I skipped. What should I do? Then what I used to do is the next day I used to write 2 tests together, and I send the answer papers to for evaluation. So I feel that kind of like there should be one internal motivation, and there should be two listening to others and get motivated. So seeing toppers video, or seeing teachers who are giving the structure, telling you follow this, it will work. So that trust should be there whenever we are making an unconventional way. So this is one thing. So with respect to the final one, I would want to tell the mistakes that I made throughout this journey. To be honest, the things that I feel, if I would have corrected, probably this would have happened the previous attempt, or I would have scored even more higher mark than this. So first thing is, first mistake I made is when we are going for when we are prepared to write prelims, I think we should be prepared with optional beforehand. Whenever, like before December of that year, that is May, if the prelims is going to happen, before December of the year, we should have at least read the entire study material, and the notes, whichever notes we have to take, we need to be very prepared till December. And till February, we can write the tests. Till February or March midweek, we can be writing the tests alone for optional. But what I did was I stopped optional altogether. I read optional for a month in September, and then I stopped optional altogether, and I started preparing for prelims, and I started hunting for sources, different books, different things, and reading a lot of content where I forgot entirely whatever I read. So it was very difficult for me to revise and reproduce. So this was the first mistake I made in 2023. And second mistake is, I was referring to certain other sources, videos, and everything. And I started to feel like I didn't read any book with respect to organizational behavior. I didn't read any writer's book, or I was feeling little low confident about it. But after 2023 prelims, what I felt was, it's okay. Whatever we have, the same source, let's read it for 4 times instead of reading many books. Reading many books is definitely knowledgeable. We are going to learn a lot. But from an exam perspective, I feel we need to restrict our sources. Like increasing the knowledge is important, but to score marks, I feel that is not required at the moment now. So what we need to do is read the same source again and again, read the same books again and again. And final thing I made mistake is, earlier whenever I used to write answers, I used to write the answers plainly, like without example, without quotation, without diagrams. The presentation will be very plain. I used to basically dump all the points that I know, dump it in a paragraph or in a pointer way, but generally dump. But one thing that is more important, or one thing that I corrected, is to do a better presentation. So whenever you are doing, like you're writing an answer, imagine from a person who's going to correct. He is going to correct a lot of papers, and he's going to see your paper. If your paper is also going to have bundle of paragraphs, and if your paper is also going to be like with a lot of words, tiring, no highlighting of keywords and other things, then he will start to feel very tired to correct. So imagine from his perspective, then you will automatically fine tune your answers. You will start to do your answers in a way that your answers become very legible for a person who's doing correction like in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So the moment he gets the point, okay, she's written all the words that is needed, fine, good. And her presentation is good, her point is good, she's given an example for it, she's given quotations for it. So fine tune your presentation with respect to paper 2 and also with respect to paper 1. And whenever you get a corporate example in newspaper or whatever sir sends, the PDF, he actually sends a collated PDF in the end. You make use of it.
You take water and you can speak slowly also.
Yes, sir.
Because, yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So whenever there is a answer, what you do is, whenever there is an example, you think from the example perspective. For example, if Wipro is having a concept of 5S concept, which is used to have a good psychological impact for the workers. If, for example, that is the example, you think in whatever subjects you can apply it. First, you can write it for organizational behavior. Then you can write for leadership initiative. Like that, you think from an perspective of the example. So when that is there, you can easily apply the example in the exam. And sir gives, for each topic, sir gives many examples, because he thinks that people will choose different examples, like we can choose and write. But what I did was, I chose from the examples that sir gave, because I had a very limited time. So I chose from the examples he gave. He gave 35 pages. I made 3 pages of it. And I revised those 3 pages for at least 15 minutes before the exam, that is before paper 2 exam. So, and thankfully, I wrote at least 8 examples from them in the paper. It was relevant. So I wrote 8 examples from the paper. Generally, people have this mindset that optional, we should not write in a GS way, right? Like writing example after a pointer, all that. But I feel writing example will enhance your understanding of the concept. So it will make you understand that you are relating one other concept with the actual industry. So that is really important.
Did you write quotations?
Yes, sir. I wrote quotations also. So this quotations, there will be a PDF again, which sir gives for each topic from each subject. What I did is, I wrote, same way how I made examples, I chose the quotations which are easy to remember. Certain quotations had very difficult English terms, or which is very difficult to remember. I chose the quotations which are easy to remember, at the same time very catchy, like which is like very rhyming and poetry. For a person who's doing monotonous correction, that will be like a different one. So I read those, and I made 3 pages of that also. I kept it aside, and I revised those quotations, and in the main exam, wherever possible, I wrote those quotations. And whenever you feel like you have the content, but you have it only in keywords, but you're not able to develop it, make a chart, make a diagram, make a graph, and put arrow marks, and make a diagram. Because you may know that you don't know content, but from the character perspective, they'll feel like you are a good presenter, and you have actually evaluated the presented the entire thing for a better understanding. So charts, diagrams, quotations, and then examples, these are all important factors with respect to writing theory questions. And with respect to practical questions, solve all the practical questions, all the test series at least twice. It is not enough if you solve it once. You may know the numbers or the answers in your mind, but you will not be able to know the way how you arrived at it. So solve all the test series at least twice, and all the PYQ problems. You don't have to actually worry about PYQ problems separately, because the mock test which we are having in Rankers itself is like accumulation of PYQ and new sums. So you don't have to bother about PYQ solving separately. So, but you can just solve the test series twice. Solving test series twice is very, very important, because it will make you remember the concepts. And then last thing is mock test. I think everybody should write 1 paper 1 full test and 1 paper 2 full test at least. If time permits, write 2 tests, because you can implement the new strategies that you learned from the 1 test in the second test. For me, I wrote only 1 mock test, but I regret that, because whatever new things that I tried in the second was directly in the main exam. So I felt like I didn't have an opportunity to see how it will, result, or how it will come out. But it came out good, thankfully. But still, I will suggest that you write at least 2 full mock tests, so that you are able to do justice to the paper. So thank you so much, sir.
One question, Monica.
Yes,
You
sir.
got highest marks in commerce, sir.
Yes, sir.
So did you study any other source for commerce?
No, sir. I refer to whatever optional. So, your voice will be audible for them.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, okay. So, sir asked me about the sources. So, basically, I read for paper 2, I didn't touch even a single book of any other thing, only those 4 yellow books. And I made notes myself by reading those yellow books. I made small notebooks, definitions of key terms, and then examples I added with them from PDF that sir gave. So, what I made is, I made a consolidated one in a same place. Apart from that, I didn't study anything for paper 2. With respect to paper 1, for taxation, I read CA Inter material, sir, where there is a summary after every taxation chapter in CA Inter book. So I read them. And I solved a few sums of FM from CA Inter book. So few sums. Why I solved it? Because I felt very confident at one point. So I wanted to gain confidence. So I went and solved a certain sums from the back chapter, like back of the chapter, there will be some sums. So I solved them to get understanding and clarity on that. So these two things I did. Apart from that, I didn't refer to any material. I didn't take any other test also, because earlier I read, like I listened to one of the topper who said like, take, like you're reading the same material and taking the test from same will be like a reflection and everything. But what I felt is material okay, but test I feel is corrected by somebody else who didn't make the material. So there is always a difference. Even my test is, when one sir is correcting it, another sir is correcting it, they give different inputs. So I feel test series, evaluation marks, this should not be learned from mocks, but what should be learned is what mistakes I made and what I should be correcting from that. That should be the only learning from the test series. If we start to take hard on the marks, oh, I got only 110 in the out of 250. If you start to take that very hardly, that mock does not serve the purpose why it has been there. Mock is to make you realize your mistakes and address those issues. So that should be the ultimate purpose of writing mock test, instead of starting to feel, oh, he didn't correct it properly, or he didn't do it, this is not the key, or this is not the model. That kind of confusion.
At rankers classes, our evaluator is not provided rankers material. We tell the evaluator that evaluate the copy from your perspective, so that something which is missed in the copy, that is also identified.
Yes, yes, sir. Okay. So I didn't know this earlier. I thought it is done by.
Keep diversity in evaluation.
Yes, sir.
We don't tell the examiner that check in the light of model answers. No, you apply your mind, because our examiners are also that is experts.
Yes, exactly, sir. True.
Our one of the best examiner is Akashdeep Malik. She is also expert. Another is Palak Arora. She is also expert. So we don't guide them too much about content, so that new points come in the model answer, new points come in the evaluated copy. That is the purpose of.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I understood.
Yes.
So ultimately, so whenever you are writing a mock, you should have this thing in your mind. That is, you are not writing the mock to score good marks or to get good from the evaluator or anything, but to learn from the mistakes or from the suggestions, whatever he has given. Suppose if he is giving a suggestion that please don't write paragraph answers. Think if writing paragraph answer is making your answer look very bad, or your presentation is like getting worse. If you are able to think that and recollect or change it, then that is the ultimate purpose of the the mock test series. Okay, I think I will end my, and thank you so much all the friends for joining us. Listening to me so patiently till now. I think I'll address your questions after Shiva's
Yes.
speech.
Now please, Shiva. Yes, Shiva, please.
Yes, sir, you want the mic?
No, I don't think.
I can start.
Yes, yes. Shiva, please start. So Shiva got 23rd rank, and he got 260 marks. Take care, 260 is now not a small score. Highest score of first ranker in pol science is 280. No one got more than 300. Highest score of top 5 candidates, as I have put on Telegram also, that is 291. Otherwise, there is score between 270, 280, 290. 291 is rare, one candidate only, right? And one candidate, he got around 314 mathematics, 340 or something.
I think 300, so I'm not very
320.
sure.
He got very low rank. So what is the benefit of scoring too much if your rank is lower? If you can allot your time in a smart manner and get good rank, that is the purpose, right? So yes, Shiva, you tell your that is complete journey towards preparation civil services,
Yes,
and
sir.
particularly focus on this commerce.
Commerce.
Right?
Namaste, Namaskar, Kimcho, and Vanakkam. So that is the diversity of our country. So I always have pride in introducing myself this way, because it gives you a sense of completeness. To start with, I'll introduce myself as brief introduction. Yes. Am I audible? Loud and clear? Maybe one person can drop a text in the text box if I'm clear. If I'm not, you can. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Yes.
वॉइस थोड़ा सा लो है, उसको शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं उसमें? कैन बी शिफ्ट टू दिस, मतलब उसमें शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं? सिंगल पर्सन के लिए कर सकते हैं, कर दूं? We are shifting to the another mic system.
Am I audible? Am I clear? Mr. Jyotiram, am I clear? Yes, okay. Yes, yeah. Yes, I think I can start. Okay, so I'll just give a small introduction. Yes, myself Sivachandran. My all my basics were from Chennai, my schooling and my professional qualification. I'm a chartered accountant professionally. I also completed my company secretaryship. I have a UG degree in BCom. So I finished my CA and then I started preparing for the civil services examination. Firstly, I'll start from how I chose commerce and what I did after choosing commerce. My decision to choose commerce was driven by my professional backing in the. Sorry. Okay. So yes, my decision to choose commerce and accountancy as the optional was firstly driven my professional backing. I took commerce optional during my schooling times. So since 11th grade, I had reading in the subject. So I was completely comfortable with it. So I went with it. When I was actually taking commerce, I went through the discussions made by several aspirants and also toppers with respect to choosing optional. The common thing that they put forward in deciding an optional subject was that a particular optional subject should be scoring and it should be they should be able to cover the entire syllabus within 3-4 months time. So these were the considerations. But one important consideration which I feel people are missing out is that they fail to choose an optional which is in alignment with their basic qualification. Uh, Not all the UG degree holders are very lucky. When we take people who are bachelors, who are holding bachelor's degree in engineering from computer science department, they don't have that particular optional in the list of optionals that are given. But those who have taken BCom or MCom, CA, CS, even lawyers, you have this advantage of commerce and accountancy optional. Most of what is covered in these professional degrees or UG degrees are only reflected in the optional syllabus. If we take, there are two papers. The first paper, we have income tax, financial reporting, costing, strategic financial management, financial markets, and auditing. So these we study in depth at final stages in as far as a CA or a CS is concerned, or even a CWA. But here, when it comes to the optionals of UPSC, the expertise is only of inter level, like that is the BCom honors level. So it is not of much difficulty if you were to do a in-depth reading of these subjects during your UG days. And also, comparatively, this optional has been a scoring one, though not high scoring. You don't get extremes in this optional. In the recent years, you must have seen the highest somewhere ranges around 280, 290. But then the average is quite high. In certain optionals, people get 320, 330, but you also see the other extreme at the other end of the spectrum, like 190, 200. Such things don't happen in commerce. Minimum you keep scoring somewhere around 250, 255. So the chances of this option pulling your ability to get into the final list is very, very limited. So my exhortation is that if you have a basic degree in commerce, or if you have a professional degree in commerce and you like the subject, not hate it, if you have a basic understanding of the concepts, you can very much go for it, because the time that you will be saving because of choosing this optional is enormous. That can be put into GS general studies paper. In this optional, if you are able to put in 3-4 months of preparation at the outset, that is more than sufficient to gain 250, 255, 240 to 250 marks in the main examination. And going forward, once I selected this optional subject, to be honest, I was in the dark because I'm from the state of Tamil Nadu. So there are not many aspirants who choose this optional. 2021 was my first attempt when I gave my mains. And I was hoping that because during the mains examination, all the students from particular optional are made to sit behind each other or close to each other. So I was hoping that at least then I'll be meeting an aspirant from commerce and accountancy optional. But even on the day of optional exam, I did not find one because I was the only aspirant writing that optional from my state. So that was the difficulty because there was no guidance, neither guidance nor any peer support for that optional. That was when I enrolled with the postal course of Rankers Academy. So I got the materials for paper 1, paper 2. So when you ask me to rate the material on a scale of 10, I'll give it a 9. So they have a high quality material. The materials are based on the previous year questions. First, let us talk about the paper 2, then we'll move on to paper 1. So paper 2, if you were to take up the previous year questions and compare it with the question papers of the recent times, maybe 2024, 23 or 22, you'll find that almost all the questions are being repeated because these subjects, though there are developments in these subjects like HRM, industrial relations, most of the questions are being repeated from the static portions that existed 10-15 years back. So since the materials are revolving around these PYQs, the good study and the revision of these materials are more than sufficient for you to gain good marks. So for paper 2, as far as paper 2 is concerned, I would suggest that you can blindly go ahead with this rankers books rather than going for multiple sources because you can save time, and also this gives you a comprehensive coverage of all the portions from the examination perspective. That is the most important aspect. When coming to paper 1, I had again the paper, I subscribed to the postal course. I practiced almost all the sums from the rankers material, but then I somewhere felt that the diversity of sums were missing somewhere. So because if I had come to the offline classes or online classes of rankers, maybe I could have got exposure to much sums. But since I was only the postal course student, I did not have much exposure. So I also used a little bit of the CA Institute books. So they have good quality sums. When you go to subjects such as accounting, you have amalgamation, internal reconstruction. So the diversity of sums in those materials are complete. So there is nothing much that can be asked outside from those books. You in the practice manual, there are some 20-25 sums. It consists of all the kind of adjustments that you need to be knowing. If we were to practice those sums at least once or twice, we'll be able to crack any kind of sum in the examination. So we have the 20 marker or a 25 marker from amalgamation. So that you will be able to finish it off within the time that is allotted for the particular sum. So that is the advantage. And the next thing is that the difficult thing to talk as the last person in a public talk event is that the first person would have already covered everything. Since Monica is a topper, she has already covered everything as well, and it is difficult for me to talk. But at this point I'll share the mistakes which I did over a course of 4.5 years, because this is my 5th attempt. And it took me time of 4 years. So if I am able to share my mistakes, maybe you can learn from it. One common mistake is that I concentrated only on preparation. I kept studying again and again and again, but I failed to practice. How much ever knowledge we have to reduce it to writing within a duration of 3 hours on the examination day. That matters the most. That only reflects your merit and your academic knowledge to the examiner. So it becomes very important that you sweat out by practicing during examination, during your preparation stages. In that regard, especially during the rankers classes yes. Mr. or Miss Kushba, I think you are unmuted. Maybe you can mute so that there is not much disturbance. Yes, thank you. We were talking about yes, paper 1. Okay. This time we had this intensive enriched test series program. Earlier years, it used to be that we had 2 cycles of full-length test in commerce and standard test series. This time we had daily test series. I mean, daily tests, wherein the entire syllabus of commerce and accountancy was broken down into micro topics. So the prelims ended on June 16th. June 20th, this test series started. Every day we had tests, June 20th, 21st, until August 10th or 11th, I think we had the test. So since entire portion was broken down into smaller topics, we had multiple advantages. One was that I diligently followed this test, so I covered the portions, entire portions. I was able to finish it off by August 10th. And secondly, since I covered it in a micro scale, I was able to take notes during the main stage itself, right after the prelims, because I used to take notes every attempt, but then I felt that somewhere my notes needs to be refined every year. So I kept taking newer notes every year, and with this enrichment main test series, I found note making easier because it was in micro capsule preparation level. And thirdly, since I was also writing answers every day, I got a sense of my presentation levels, and also I was able to manage time properly. In the previous attempts, the major mistake which I did was I couldn't complete the paper. Paper one was easy enough. Had I been given 3.5 or 4 hours, I could have scored even maybe 170, 175. But the challenge is time management. You have to finish the entire 250 marks in 3 hours. That is the challenge. For that, not only knowledge is enough, but you need practice. Sometimes luck may be that, as Monica was talking, the sum which we practiced before examination appeared during the examination stage, and we were able to finish it within limited time. So this is the importance of practice. Not only studying, but you need to keep practicing. It helps in developing muscle memory. That is one thing. And yes, importance of note making. So I spoke about importance of practice. Now next to note making. The time which we have before the examination is very limited. So we just have 5 days, but the portion is very voluminous. During the course of our CA days at the inter level, we have 7 subjects on 7 different days with 1 day holiday between each and every subject. But for this optional examination, we write all the 7 subjects in one paper on a single day. That is for paper one. And paper two, again, we have another 4 voluminous subjects on a single day. So we have to revise so many topics, so many provisions. Income tax in itself will take months of preparation, but we have to revise it within a period of 5 days before examination. So given this volume that needs to be revised, note making becomes very important. For example, if we take paper one, we have 6 subjects in that. Per subject, you need to have quality notes of around 25 to 30 pages. So that helps you better in revising for the examination. So when you go to the examination hall, you can just replicate whatever you studied the day before. In this regard, note making, it is not necessary that you need to have detailed notes, because it is sufficient if you just have a broad index of all the topics. For example, when you take paper two, the content that is there in the book in itself is voluminous. So you can just make an index, and the day before exam, you can just revise, skim through the index, and just recollect what you have read in a particular topic, because going to the exam hall and recollecting a new topic is very difficult. So the index is very important, and not necessary detailed notes are necessary. But unfortunately, I didn't bring my notes today, or neither have I scanned it now. Maybe in the future course of time, I'll try to scan it and I'll share it across with sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, with respect to this question, I honestly I didn't study any material other than rankers materials. I studied the rankers materials, and this attempt, sir also gave us the value-added materials, wherein the current events, examples, and quotes related to particular topics were given. So that helped us in giving that edge because the competition is becoming higher every year. So we need to do that value addition job in order to get a good score in whichever paper.
One page, read same material 3, 4, 5 times rather than 3, 4, 5 types of material once. That is the message for everyone. If you want to do.
Yes, sir, please.
So what is my learning? and even for you also, what is my learning, and even for you also, is focus on one source. रैंकर्स क्लासेज ने, मतलब आर.एस. अग्रवाल ने पिछले 25 साल में ये मेटल तैयार किया है, अभी भी तैयार कर रहा हूँ। अगर आपको कुछ नया करना है तो कॉर्पोरेट एग्जाम्पल्स ऐड कीजिए, जो हमने अलग से दे दिया आपको। आप पावरफुल कोटेशंस कीजिए, दो अलग से दिए। और भी जो वैल्यू एडिशन करंट अफेयर्स देते हैं वो फोकस कीजिए। नए मेटेरियल पे रीड करेंगे, आपको वही चीजें मिलेंगी, दूसरे फॉर्म में मिलेंगी। अल्टीमेटली जो आपने पहली बार पढ़ा है वही याद रखेंगे और वही लिख पाएंगे। तो नया करना है तो पावरफुल कोटेशंस लिखिए, कॉर्पोरेट एग्जाम्पल्स लिखिए, न्यूमेरिकल एग्जाम्पल्स लिखिए, करंट अफेयर्स लिखिए। और अब हम जो आगे क्वेश्चन प्रोवाइड करते हैं टेस्ट सीरीज वगैरह में, उसमें हम चैट जीपीटी से बेस्ट आंसर्स निकालते हैं, तो आप मॉडल आंसर्स लिखिए वहां से। राइट, ओवर टू।
So that's some valuable piece of advice, sir, which I followed during my preparation stages. That really helped me. Yes, practice, 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 and practice from limited source. Because unlike few other options, if we take political science and international relations, unfortunately the students have to update themselves every year. International relations keep happening. But in commerce and accountancy, when you take paper 2, it is completely static in nature. Though one or two questions related to current events are asked, it is completely static. So if you see the theories which were propounded some 50, 100, 150 years back, we see Fayol's theory, Taylor's theory, they are centuries old. So that is being asked today. So enormous amount of study has been done, and it has been concised into small materials. Everything is available, and so revision from limited sources will help us in scoring high marks. Yes.
People can ask questions. So first, you can ask questions from Shiva. Both can reply.
Yes, sir.
Since you are having mic,
Mike.
so you can ask it.
And one last thing before we can ask question, one small addition. With respect to paper one, maintain something called the library of adjustments. So I have been doing this since my CA days. For example, when you go to accounting, I'm just giving an example for accounting subject. Take an amalgamation sum, you have multiple adjustments in that. Few adjustments, they are just straightforward. Anybody can do it. Even person who's in 11th or 12th can do it. But when we come to this level, there are few adjustments which we don't even understand. With the English language is difficult to understand. So those things we can take up, we can make a note wherein we create a library of adjustments. So that we can revise before the examination, because revising all the sums, all the large sums is very difficult. So you can make this library of adjustments. Yes. So I'm done with sharing whatever I know. Maybe questions, if you have any, you can put it forward. Okay. Yes. Actually, you can. She also has a mic. Oh, it's a different mic. Okay. It is all previews after prelims or before, and how much time? Yes. Yes, actually, we were contemplating on that, but like last 1 week, 10 days were little hectic, so we couldn't do that. But going forward, I think that should be done. Only then we will be doing justice to the aspirant community. We'll definitely do that. To Ms. Simran. Yes. Next, Ms. Shaurya. Ms. Shaurya, it depends upon the time. With respect to PYQs, we did it after prelims only. During mains preparation, every day, maybe 1.5 hours we dedicated to PYQ solving. We did it so that we did not lose track of what we studied, because if you have to study a subject on day X and after X plus the 30 days, we forget it completely. So solving PYQs every day after prelims helps us keep a hold over it. Cool. And how much time you devoted to optional after prelims? So it was like 40-60. We dedicated 40% of our time to optional and 60% to GS. Yes, 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 yes. The question was, is what is the correct time to consolidate notes? The perfect timing, if you ask me, would be to consolidate it during the mains preparation, but then you need to have notes, and you should have studied at least once or maybe twice before the prelim stage, because as I was talking, it is voluminous. It is virtually impossible to make notes for all the topics during the mains time. So you can make basic notes, and when you come to the main stage, as you keep revising, you can keep consolidating the notes into a smaller and smaller note. Next, Ms. Komal. Sir, if we are weak in numericals, then also subject, sir, I think. should be taken? Actually, to that question, weak in numericals in the sense maybe because you're not having the practice. If you can go through the syllabus, if you feel that after preparation that you will be stronger, you can go in for the subject if you have a basic study of the subject. Because being weak or strong is just a temporary phenomenon based on your current levels of preparation. If you can prepare on that, I'm sure you will become stronger. And as I was talking, this option has multiple advantages. You can go in for that. Sir, I'm a BCom student. Can I take this optional? Yes, very well. As sir was talking, Miss Garima Lohia, she was a BCom graduate and she scored exceptionally good marks in optional 275. And because she took commerce, she did not have to spend more time for optional. She did it in GS and I think she scored somewhere around 470 something, sir. That was highest among the high. Yes, highest. So that gave her the highest rank in the country, AR2. Yes. So maybe Monica can answer the following questions, or shall I continue doing?
Yes. Yeah. Active. Now, yes.
Is my voice audible now?
Change the shift कर दिया इनका दिन टाइम थोड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स है
My hand.
उसको follow करना।
Is my voice audible? Okay, so the question I want to answer a previous question, sir, where someone asked about solving PYQ before prelims and how much time. Yes. So to Shaurya Arwal, so basically for me, I didn't.
Repeat, please.
Yes. So Shaurya Arwal has asked that did you solve PYQs after prelims or before prelims, and how much time you devoted to optional after prelims? So for the second part of the question, as Shiva said, we devoted 60-40. Only 40% of the time we devoted for optional and 60% for GS. Don't go with the strategy of first finishing optional and then starting GS. Don't go with that strategy. Divide your day into half, and then in the first initial period devote more time for optional, and as the exam comes closer, devote more time for GS. I think sir also gives the same advice to people who are preparing for mains. He also says the same thing. Till August mid you prepare more time for optional, and after August mid you start preparing more time for GS. And the first part of the question, did you solve PYQs after prelims or before prelims? So the first attempt, I didn't solve anything. In this attempt, what I did was I solved the test series. So whenever I'm reading a topic, the PYQ, the topics, I started to solve. So which says that whatever topics which I've studied before prelims, that is until March, I wrote the test. So whatever test I've written till that time, I solved those PYQs along with the topics that I studied. So this is one thing I wanted to address. Sir, I think we can go for the...
I'm BCom student. Can I take this option?
Yes. So there is no bar that only CA can do it, BCom can do it, or anybody else can do it. So basically, we need the understanding of the subject commerce. That is more important. So if you are someone who is able to understand graph and you have a natural interest towards this subject, I think you can go ahead and take it. You need not start to feel less confident because there are a lot of CAs in the group, like in your preparation circle, who are taking commerce and you are only BCom. You don't have to worry in that way because everybody is ultimately going to read the same set of sources and materials, and everybody is going to get only 3 hours to present themselves. So only that aspect you have to work on, not worry about the degree or any other thing.
I want to ask, do you feel that CA final level questions are asked? Or IPCC level questions are asked?
Mostly it is CA inter level, and if I have studied BCom in a regular college, sir.
Or BCom level?
Yes, sir. I have studied BCom in a regular college, so I feel that whichever sums in semesters we used to write, those are also reflected in the optional paper. So you don't have to think yourself in the standard of CA inter also. It is even more simpler than CA inter. And someone has asked that I'm weak in numericals. Then also this subject should be taken. So basically 500 marks we are going to write, and close to only 100 to 120 marks we will be having numerical. So the percentage of numerical is lesser. And in that also, repetition of PYQ is more. So I feel that for that particular limited scope of numerical, you can, if you practice, as Shiva said, if you practice, it will be more good, and you can easily improve that weakness into strength. So you don't have to worry if you're weak in numericals.
Nipun.
Yeah, I think you answer this question.
And sir or ma'am, what does analyzing PYQ means? It would be better if you can explain with an example. So analyzing PYQ in the sense, we just took a stock of what are all the questions that were asked in the previous attempts. So as I was telling earlier, our subject is mostly static in nature, and when it beat numericals or the theoretical questions, nothing new is invented every year. So the same questions are being recycled every year and again. So if a particular costing sum is given, if you were to refer some CA books or maybe some olden day costing books, you will find the sum there. So analyzing PYQ means we go through the sums, we practice it once, and if they are new, we just take notes from it. So this is what we meant by saying that.
How did GS, how you did GS from which coaching?
With respect to GS, like any subject, I didn't go to any coaching classes. My preparation was solely self-preparation.
Very good.
But only the test series I used to take from multiple coaching institutes. When it comes to in 2000 for prelims test series 2020 and 2021 attempt alone, I took the test series. I took it from Shankar IAS. And when it comes to optionals, I took it from rankers in 2022, 3 and 4. 21, I opted for Vajram just to understand the diversity of questions that are being put forward. And in 2023 attempt for GS, I took up the Vision's mains answer writing program.
How to make sure that we are clearing prelims, looking at the uncertainty at prelim stage, what different did you do for prelims? So basically, it is very true that CA Mayank has asked this question. So it is very true that the prelim stage is very, very uncertain. So we can't predict whether we are clearing, seeing all the differences and everything. So I feel that one thing we can do is consistent efforts and analyzing PYQ for prelims. This last, the 2024 prelims attempt, the difference that I made is I solved a lot of mock tests. I solved close to 55 to 60 mock test papers. And apart from that, 30 years of PYQ question papers. 30 years means UPSC and also the CAPF and CDS question papers I solved. After solving this question paper, close to 90 question papers, what I did was revise the prelims question paper again and again before the prelims exam. So this was the different thing I did this time, and it worked out well for me this time. And one thing is, with respect to prelims, don't get, not just for prelims, don't get disheartened with any marks or any scores, prelims or mains or wherever. Don't get disheartened, because ultimately the final exam or the final marks or the outcome is more important. What is important is consistently putting your efforts and learning from the mistakes and correcting it. That is more important. So next question.
Yes, I want to add on to whatever Monica said. Test writing is more important. There are two things why we should keep practicing tests. One is that we get a hold of what kind of questions are being asked and how to handle it, even if we are not very clear about the contents that are given in the question. Second thing is that you need to keep taking notes from the prelims mock test that you're preparing, because my preparation, though I prepared a little bit from the static books, though I was aware of the basic concepts for the current events and other aspects which were not covered in the static books, I relied solely on these mock tests. We took the 30 to 40 mock tests, and in that 20 to 25 were full length tests from different open source materials. We took the mock tests, and in that we took notes. For example, if there is one question that is being asked, it is not about a single content, but multiple contents are there. You have 4 options, and every option has a story behind it. So we need to do a little bit of analysis. So for example, if we take a test of 2 hours, it will take us close to 6 to 8 hours to analyze it. And we took note of it. We had a 120 page booklet, which we revised the day before exams. And that booklet was the most important source, because multiple things were reflected from the booklet.
Yes. So Mohit Bhai said that asked that in paper 2, is there a change in trend with regards to pages given? Do we get 3 pages for 20 marks and 2 pages for 15 marks and 3 pages for 15 marks and 4 pages for 20 marks? I think you
That is the element of surprise. There is no hard and fast rule how many pages are being given. Until 22 attempt, it was standardized because 21, 22, we had the same number of pages. But suddenly in the 23 attempt, for a 20-mark question, the number of pages were 3. So that was one of the main reasons how I was able to complete the paper. It keeps changing. We don't know what is the reason for the change, but it is uncertain again.
Yes, so for this, I think what we should be practicing is to prepare content for 3 pages so that it is very easy to, develop it to 4. And it is not an hard and fast rule that you have to write all the 4 pages. If you are writing relevant content, substantiating with examples, even if they give 4 pages, if you are writing 3.5 pages, it's fine. You don't have to keep writing all the 4 pages. It's not like page filling entirely. You don't have to fill the pages.
Yes.
So
The next question.
Simran.
Should we avoid this because UPSC doesn't give much marks? Avoid this in the sense?
Avoid what?
Avoid what? Okay,
No, no,
maybe
that's the next
maybe the
question.
question
Revision
can be
strategy.
asked more specific. We'll answer it later.
Yes.
yes.
Revision.
Ask your question more clearly. So revision strategy, Lalit, revision strategy.
Revision
So,
strategy.
Yes.
Yes, so for revision strategy, as I was saying earlier, we need to have good quality notes. During our preparation days itself, we need to make small notes, maybe for a 180-page booklet. Initially, you can have a 50-60-page booklet. Then as you revise it once again, maybe you can curtail it to 30 to 40 page. And finally, a 20-page booklet for a 180-page large book would suffice. So 1:9 ratio, if you're able to do it, that will be good. And there would be certain content or subject areas wherein making detailed notes would be difficult. So in those cases, just make an index of the different topics that are there. Just the index will help you to recollect those points whichever you have studied earlier. So these 2 things you can be doing it.
How many revisions you did? Commerce.
I did 2 rounds, sir, for paper 2 and 3 rounds for paper 1, sir.
Okay.
Since I was doing multiple attempts there, it is like in this attempt, technically I would have done 10-12 revisions.
10-12 revisions.
Because I have been
I'm
studying all
telling
these
you.
years. That's why.
And with respect to this revision strategy, I want to add one point. So what you have to do is the first day, if you are reading a content, that is, I'm speaking from a person who's starting optional today. So if you are reading a content on the first day, you would have read for like 4 hours, the entire day you would have read something and you would have made some notes. The next day, before starting with another new content, you should revise the content that you read the first day. So that should be your revision. So what happens is, initially when you are reading something for 4 hours, then after the second time you read it, it becomes 2 hours reading. And then finally you'll be like, in 20 minutes, you know whatever is there in the paper, whatever you've read it. So you know it. Before reading any new content, revise the earlier content. So I always keep the next day early morning for doing revision of the previous day study. So whatever I studied in the previous day, the next day morning I used to get up and revise them quickly. So that will give you a grasp of what you should be doing.
This is personal case.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, Mr. Pragdish, we'll share our email later. We can get in touch later. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes, for the revision strategy, for paper 1, also don't forget to make this library of adjustment. It is something that is very helpful, helps in cutting down the time that you use for solving sums during your revision.
Library means a list of
List of adjustments which we perceive to be difficult. For
Right.
example, if I find a difficult sum, I write the page number, the book in which it is given, and the adjustment which gave me difficulty. So that you can revise.
So you might be having 1 or 2 pages only for complete.
Yes, exactly, sir.
So it will remove your worry of complete.
Yes, sir. We need not
Yes,
keep doing the big sums again and
Right.
again. Just that
Right.
adjustment
That
will
is
help.
very, that is very. Please elaborate more on revision few days before paper 1. List of adjustment, that is the main thing.
Yes, sir.
Library of adjustments.
Kalpana Joshi.
And one more thing you can do is before paper 1, that 5 days, only 5 days we'll be having. In that 5 days, you need not go and read the entire book. Don't start reading the entire book. Whatever notes you have made and wherever you have made mistakes, you should have written it already. That I made mistake here, this I would have written. All those things you revise, because if time is very limited, you cannot be reading the entire book. So in this 5 days, you can do those revisions.
Kalpana Joshi.
Sir or ma'am, were you able to complete syllabus of GS plus optional within a year, as syllabus is so vast, and how much time we should devote to optional specifically? It's a very good and relevant question. Time is definitely a constraint. If you are able to complete even 80% of the targeted syllabus, it is a big thing. So as far as those who are giving their first attempt, this challenge will definitely be there. So don't worry about it. Everybody goes through the cycle. Try to complete all the important topics, especially when it comes to commerce and accountancy. When we take paper one, there are few subjects and few topics which are totally mandatory. You can cover it. Maybe the lighter topics, sir will be better able to guide on that, like the lighter topics. You can maybe just read it once. You can skip out on the revision.
Okay. Kashish.
Kashish, I did not practice any numerical in my BCom, but I did in 12. Then how can I proceed in paper 1? So as I already mentioned, paper 1, close to 100 to 120 marks will be numericals and balance will be theoretical. So for that 100 to 120, if you're following the enriched test series thoroughly, like dedicatedly, and PYQs if you're solving currently, and whatever is the sums, whichever is there after each chapter in the book, that yellow book that we have, if you are doing them, I think it's more than enough. You will not feel that numerical is difficult because you have solved whatever is required. So if you do all these 3 things together, numerical will not be an issue. So you can able to solve it.
Priyanka, tell your answer, I think, yes.
Yes, maybe
I think she is
you
raising
can,
her hand.
maybe Miss Priyanka, you can
No,
unmute
she's
yourself
raised.
and ask the question.
Yes, you can ask.
Unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yes, Priyanka.
Should be
You can ask.
I want to ask one question. Whenever I am writing answers, end up with rewriting the same content that material we are given by RS and rank. How can we make them differentiate with another?
The question, I'll repeat it. Tell me if it's okay. You are asking that you write the same content as that of other candidates, that you are unable to differentiate. Is it what you are trying to ask?
Please write your question. That would be the
Yes.
better.
Yes.
That would be better. You answer next. CA Mayank
Bojasia.
Bojasia. CA Mayank Bojasia.
How to sustain for.
Okay. Yeah, open there.
Yes.
No.
No, no,
It's
no, no. Over.
Yes, yes.
Scroll down, sir.
Scroll down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Question is how to sustain for 4 to 5 years in this preparation. So that is the question that plagues every civil services aspirant by. Maybe in the first 2-3 years, you will not be having time to even study for this examination because the portions are volume. Maybe 4th, 5th year, the saturation you may reach it. Towards those years, if you are having a qualification, maybe you can take up lighter practice, do some income tax consultancy, GST consultancy. You can divide your day. Maybe 6 to 8 hours you can put in for preparation, 4 to 5 hours for your CA practice. So this way you can sustain, and also think about the purpose as to why you started this preparation, because we all have that purpose and that fire. Finishing CA and starting UPSC in itself is something which makes people raise eyebrows. They don't want to study further after CA because they would have reached a burnout stage. So you must have had a strong purpose when you started this. So you keep recollecting the purpose and make it a point you do that at least once every day. So this will keep you going.
So they can have a print of the purpose also.
Yes.
Yes.
Paste in front.
They can put it on their walls.
Walls.
Right. Utkarsh. Man. Yes, you
are. Utkarsh Sahu. Ma'am, sir, how do you deal with tail words of the questions? Example, comment, elaborate, etc., especially in commerce. I think sir has given a 1-pager or 2-pager of how to address each question.
Still you tell yours.
Yes. So whenever there is a question of comment, you should always give your opinion. Your opinion should be there in the answer, either in the conclusion or initially in the introduction itself. So this is with respect to comment. And whenever there is an elaborate, you have to detailedly explain whichever is the argument which is asked. I think for every single word, for evaluate and then for critically evaluate, sir has given one 2-pager. I think after the session,
Yes.
you can share it with them, sir.
Yes.
It will be more helpful.
Yes.
So,
my family members said prepare for other exams with UPSC. Only UPSC does not give you results. How to prepare for multiple exams? True, because there's always some element of uncertainty in UPSC exams. So you can also prepare for other exams. So most of the syllabus that is being covered in civil services examination is also repeated in other examination when you take CAPF or SSC examinations and so on. So give the primary importance to civil services, then ancillary importance to other exams. Few days before the other exams, maybe 1 week or 10 days, you can exclusively give it for that. Rest of the time you can dedicate for the civil services.
Priyanka Rathore, you answer.
Okay, Priyanka Rathore, when we are writing answers, we end up with reproducing same content. So how can we make our answers better and optional? Yes, so as I already mentioned, we generally used to write same content because we are all reading from the same sources. But what difference you can make is quoting the examples, quoting quotations, and then trying to incorporate whatever you read in newspaper and also in the answers. Current affairs also in the answers. So, for example, moonlighting was one of the mock test questions for me. So, when moonlighting is there, if you have read any particular case of how a corporate is handling moonlighting, you can quote that in that particular question. So, these kind of incorporation will make your answer look different. And presentation wise also, if you are good at making an answer into a diagram format like a graph or a pie chart or something, you try putting that in the answer so that your answer looks different. So anyways, for an answer, if there is a prescribed set of content, everyone will have to produce the same thing. So one thing you can make difference is with respect to the presentation.
Soumya.
Yes.
I'm an aspirant from TN. Which program is better for BCom student in rankers classes like postal services or foundation course? Yes, Ms. Soumya, that depends on the levels of your preparation and the personal comfort. Maybe you can get in touch with sir and discuss your current circumstances. Sir will be able to guide you better on that.
Yes.
Kashish.
Kashish, did you read NCRT standard book, then make short notes? Okay, so with respect to me, I read NCRTs and standard books. I'm talking about GS. So I read NCRT and standard book. I didn't read all the standard books, but few standard books, and I referred to them whenever there is an whenever there is an confusion or whenever I am made a mistake in a question or something like that. So I think it's not like you have to read all the standard books or all the NCRT. I mean, NCRT is mandatory, you have to read everything. But standard books, I think you don't have to read every page of it, but you can read the pages which you feel like you need more knowledge or you need more content. You can read them for preparations.
Add-on question: what was the same trend was reflected in paper one? I'm assuming this pertains to the PYQ and the current trends. Yes, almost the same trend. There is no change in the questions that are being asked. If you take up the question, that question you can trace it in some other book or maybe the PYQ. Sheets for answer. Okay, when it comes to paper one, it is totally irrelevant because paper one, it is not about paper filling because some questions they may have given you 4 pages, but you can complete it in 2.5 pages. So it keeps changing. In paper one, you need to concentrate more on the content and the accuracy of the answer rather than filling up the paper, unlike paper two.
Okay. Okay. See, Mayank, at the prelim stage, how effective are the elimination tricks? As we are all only sure of 35 to 40 questions with 100% surety. Yes, it is really true that after one round of reading the prelims question paper, we feel that we know only 35. For me,
40.
I knew very less. I knew only 25 for sure. 25 to 35. I feel prelims is the most difficult of all these stages for me. So 25 to 30 only I used to know. With respect to the elimination tricks, I didn't use elimination tricks as such, but I used to do this logical guessing. So where you can logically eliminate certain things, not this where I've seen certain videos where if there is only, then that is wrong, or if there is a ministry name, that is wrong. Don't follow such kind of elimination tricks, but you can follow this logical elimination trick. So if this is related with this, it might be wrong. You can follow such kind of an elimination trick.
Simran and asked.
Should we avoid this optional because UPSC doesn't give much marks? So again, yes, it is uncertain. Every year, different optionals keep getting high marks, different options keep getting low marks. So there is element of subjectivity that is involved, and also the people who are writing this optional. For example, if some very good, well-prepared person gives attempt in this option, automatically the scores in the option will go up. So your decision to take up a particular option should be based on your current levels of preparation and the passion in the subject. So I would request you to go through the syllabus, think if you will be able to manage reading the syllabus, and also check out the current materials and the support ecosystem that is available for a particular option before choosing it.
Yes, and I want to add one point with to Simran's question. So, if you're really considerate about the marks, in other optional, the range of mark is too high. Even though the first marker is scoring 300 or 290, the last marker is scoring like 191, 193. I think Shiva also already told about this. But in commerce, the range of mark is lower. It is like 280 to 240. So, anyways, you're going to fall within this bracket. You're not going to get a steep downfall. So you can, if you are worried about marks, you can also consider this for your choosing the optional. Okay, ma'am, this is your second attempt. No, actually, this is my fourth attempt. But after I was giving my first two attempts while I was working full time in a job. So ideally, after starting preparation, this is my second attempt.
I'm not fluent in English. Will this create any hurdle in mains while answer writing? Definitely not. This is a very inclusive exam. So people from different background crack this exam every year. Even this year, one of my friends, he studied in Tamil medium school. His UG was also in Tamil medium background. He took Tamil literature as his option, wrote his entire mains in Tamil. He came to the personality test and spoke in English. He was able to clear. So language definitely would not be an hindrance. Grammar mark is not being given to grammar, but just the content and the kind of perspective you bring to different problems in the country. So yes, you can go ahead. That wouldn't be a big problem.
Okay. So Kashish, how to increase writing speed? Completing 2 papers in a day is tough. So
Auntie,
for this,
website yaad hai?
I think Spurti can keep
Spurti,
your
you're unmuted.
mute yourself. Okay, so how to increase writing speed? Completing 2 papers in a day is tough. Honestly, it is really tough. But what happens is, as time goes, if you keep practicing, your speed automatically increases. So when you start, initially when you start to solve a 20 marker, you'll be taking close to 15 to 17 minutes. But as time goes, it will be, you will not be realizing it, but you will be finishing it in 13 to 14 minutes as time if you practice it. So I feel it will be fine at the end of the day. You will be able to complete it.
Second part.
Yeah.
Should we go to Delhi or attempting test in a real simulation or at home? So it is not necessary because we were from Chennai. When we prepared, we didn't come to Delhi. Only for the interview, few days before the personality test, we came here so that we could attend a couple of mocks so that we got confidence. And for test series, you can sit and write at home, take guidance from mentors, and if possible, form a peer group of friends who are preparing for this examination. Friends who are really dedicated and committed to this cause of preparation. Once you do it, you gain by sharing and receiving from them. And also mentally, you stay strong when there are hardworking students next to you. So this way, you can have balance in your preparation.
Okay. Kalpana Joshi. Sir, ma'am, were you also working while preparing or completely devoted UPSC? So for me, the 4 attempts, I can separate it into two because first 2 I was working completely and it was a very hectic job. So the ideal time I spent for civil services is close to 2 to 3 hours in a week. So that was my preparations time. And in the next 2 years, I completely devoted to UPSC. And only after this year mains, I started to work again. So I feel it depends on the nature of your job. If your job is something which is in line with UPSC, or if something which is free, like you're able to take time from the work for preparation, then it is fine to work and do. Otherwise, I feel at least first initial 2 to 3 years, you should be giving your 100% to write the exam. And then you have to take a call would be my suggestion.
Practice mocks or PYQ after completing entire subject or one topic. How you cover current affairs? Okay. So the first part of question, when it comes to optional, it is always advisable that you attempt mocks after finishing the preparation because it is technical in nature. You will not be able to attend a particular mock without studying for it. When it comes to GS, you can do it either ways. If you have a basic knowledge and understanding, you can go attempting mocks because in GS you also need to focus on the presentation aspects. And for how you cover current affairs, for me, newspaper played a very important role. Many have suggested that I don't read newspapers, that I can get a good quality current affairs compilation from coaching institutes. But then newspaper helps you in different aspects. It helps you gain knowledge. It helps you gain control over the English language, and it also helps during the personality test stages, because you will be able to direct your thoughts clearly and more cleverly when they ask you analytical questions. So newspaper was one thing. And you can take, of course, I also followed this monthly compilation from coaching institutes, but that was not everything. Current affairs, to a great extent, newspapers helped me.
How did you cover your current affairs on commerce?
For current affairs and commerce, we had this value addition material. So last 1.5 years, we have been receiving this value addition materials from rankers. So there we are given examples and quotes. That is on one side. And on the second side, when you read the newspaper itself, you have this business side. So there you are given multiple, there will be news articles. Many of them will be correlative to what you are reading in commerce and accountancy optional. For example, Foxconn firing employees, you can relate it to a few topics in industrial relations. So you can always note it down in your book, and you can revise it during your preparation.
CM Mayank has expressed.
Okay, thank you so much, Mayank.
Welcome.
And
Soumya N.
okay, Soumya, should we prepare for optionals daily by devoting 2 to 3 hours, or should we separately allocate 2 to 3 months optional? Okay, Soumya, actually, it depends on the stage now. When you're starting to prepare for optional, and if you're in July to December month, I think you should devote more time for optional and have a strong hold on the subject, on the concepts and everything, prepare notes. And if you're in January to March, April time, you should devote less time for optional and more for prelims and GS. So, and same way in after prelims also, in that 3 months, you initially have to spend more time for optional, and as the exams are nearing close to 1.5 months before the exams, you have to start preparing more time for GS. So that kind of the differences you have to do in order to balance both.
I did not have any peer group.
No, earlier there is.
Did you give other competitive exams? Yes, few. I actually attempted 2 prelims in Tamil Nadu Group 1 examination, but I couldn't clear the prelims in both the attempts. And I gave 1 attempt in UPSC CAPF examinations. I cleared the written test, but I didn't attend the medical test because I knew I had my eyesight was not meeting the standards required for the CAPFs.
Okay. So did you give other exams? I want to answer this question because after the last prelims, I felt very less confident and demotivated with respect to prelims. So what I did was I started to give other exams. So I gave UPSC EPFO and then RBI grade B and ECGC, that was a direct recruitment. So I gave all these 3 exams. I cleared ECGC exam, but I didn't take up the job because I felt that I should do more justice to the preparation. So I feel 2 years to 3 years we can dedicate it completely for UPSC, because this exam needs such longer time to understand and settle down on all the other things. I think you can go ahead.
I didn't have any peer group. Let me. So those who are having any peer group can announce.
So that you can form
yes,
peer group.
if you are having any group, you can share the link of the group here. You can share the link of the group here.
Yes, and with respect to peer group, I will also want to add one more point. So there is something called as the accountability mechanism that we need to exercise. So if there is an enriched test series and sir has given, separated the topics and given tests, if you have someone with you who is like doing it disciplinedly, then you can ask them to be your accountability mechanism. You can say that I finished the test, or you can push them and they push you, vice versa. So if that's the way, if you're going to study together, then ultimately you both will be succeeding in the competition. Because me and Shiva, throughout the preparation, from prelims, mains, personality tests, every throughout this journey, we were together. And one day I might be feeling down, one day he might be feeling down, not able to do study or anything. So that time he used to push me and I used to push him. So it should be in the same way, in 2 way. And if you have such an accountability mechanism, I think it will be very good for you to go ahead and pursue the exam, because it's a long marathon. You need someone to be with you all the time to push. So have this kind of a peer group.
One query, Kashish.
Yes.
I'll be going.
Yes, the question was from Kashish. So you're talking about you started your preparation 1 year before and you're giving your attempt in 2026, but you are having other commitments as well, and as a result of which your performance is lagging. So the question answer you yourself must be knowing. So you already have given 1 year of preparation, even if not a committed one. You must have put in at least 3 to 4 months of work, and you have one more year to come forward. So you'll be giving your attempt only in 2026. Try to separate your day 8 hours of 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for your personal time, and 8 hours for preparation. So this 8 hours of preparation, if you're able to put in consistently every day, that is more than sufficient to clear this examination. Maybe you can average it out. Maybe one day, if you're not able to give your 8 hours, try to reduce your personal time by 2 hours for the next 4 days. So this way you can keep covering your syllabus and perform better.
Okay, so Utkarsh Sahu, I have no doubt regarding commerce, but can you tell me how you prepare art and culture? Thank you. Okay, so with respect to art and culture, I think Nitin Singhania sir has written a book on art and culture, which is available. So what I did was I read one round of that book and I took the key points from those book and made a notes. And that notes is close to 20 to 30 pages. And what I used to do is whenever I added to the 20 to 30 pages of notes. So this I did before the prelims, and once I'm done with that, every new mock I take, I keep adding it to the notes. So this way you can revise all the topics which has come in the mock test also, at the same time whichever we have read from the core book also. So this can be done for art and culture.
Would you share your mail ID or?
Yes, sir. Mail
We can share the mail.
Yes, yes. So we will share mail ID at our Telegram channel also. Or we can share here. Yes, we can write mail ID here.
Can we type it here?
Yes. So
Monica, we do this. 26.
Okay.
Manjit is having memory of more mail ID of most of
All of the
more. Yes,
Okay.
most.
Yes.
So
Can
just sending answer keys and answer. I think you've sent only to Pragdish. It's fine.
Okay. Sir, I think we have sent on no. That we have addressed to Pragdish. Maybe we can copy paste it and change the address here to here. Come to
Over there. Sir.
to all.
Meeting group chat. Yeah, you did it.
So mail ID is shared. You can read.
Yes,
more
I think
questions.
we skipped the 2 questions.
Yes.
in the middle.
Mode of language in interview. You can answer Aman's question.
Yes. So, Aman, I feel UPSC has the generosity of having an interview in multiple languages. You can opt for this different language if you can, and there will be a translator who will be helping. If Hindi is the language, then it's fine. You don't need a translator. You can directly converse with them. So English is not a matter of
Kasi said asked question. She said because of weak in English, I cannot understand.
So yes, now UPSC has started printing booklets in both English and Hindi. So if you have good command over Hindi, then you are lucky. So you can also, once you study the English passage, you can also read through the Hindi passage and correlate it. So that way you can maybe perform better. And also, like, since you are almost a year away from your prelims exam, I'll suggest that you read newspapers every day, at least for 2 hours. Especially the editorial pages, because reading that you'll be able to pick up new words every day, and also the way they frame the sentences and the way the sentences that are given in CSAT passages, they're almost similar. Once you read it every day, you'll be able to understand the editorial, and that will help you in reading the passages in a better manner. So this has to come over a period of time. Maybe since you're a year away, you're very much on track. If you can read the newspapers, you can overcome this problem.
And now, one more question.
Current affairs strategy. Okay.
Yes.
So current affairs strategy, I think reading newspaper comes as the first part of current affairs strategy. Once you read the newspaper, I didn't take any new notes from the newspaper, but I read the newses and I read the background of those newses. Like when you read a newspaper, don't read the news just whatever is written. Go and read about the history of the issues. For example, if there is going to be a news about Israel attacking Palestine or something like that, you go and read about why Israel is doing this, why it is Palestine, where it started, what are the treaties, what are the accords, everything. So every day when you are going the same thing, whenever there's a news coming, your brain will know the history of the news. So that's one thing. Second is, if you are going to follow a monthly compilation, it's fine. And I would suggest follow one particular institutes. Don't go for 1 month this, 1 month that. Don't do that. If you're follow 1 month institute close to 6 to 8 months before the prelims, so that you have a hold on whatever is given in the institute's thing. And next is, sir, can you please share the recording of today's? I think.
Yes, we will share the recording and we'll take more questions later. So now I must congratulate again with this small. This is for you, the book on governance in India, soul and structure of governance in India, and everyone would be receiving this.
You should
and
come inside.
I wish all of you, and I wish you had a great career.
Thank you, sir.
Read this book. It will give you insights about Indian bureaucracy.
Definitely, sir.
And this.
Thank
you. And this is for you, Monica.
Yes, sir.
I
Thank
wish
you, sir.
you have a great career.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And I'm sure something written in this book will guide your total career.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a happy career.
Yes, sir. Thank you
enjoying
so much, sir.
career.
Thank you so much, sir.
Everyone, thank you very much. And I'm waiting for you to be here and take the same reward. And this is waiting for you. Thank you very much. And you can ask more queries. Mail IDs have been shared with you. So that's all for today. So now we are concluding this meet. Thank you. Some queries might be there. You can ask queries directly from Shiva also, Monica also.
And also with sir's permission, we'll once we create our Telegram group, we'll share it with sir so that if possible,
Definitely.
yeah, you can also get benefited from
Yes.
the notes which we took and also our answer
Yes,
copies can be.
you create a joint Telegram. No?
Yes,
Yes, sir. We'll do it.
So that will be shared.
Yes, sir.
Okay, everyone. So prepare well, self-confidence, focus. This is all required. Thank you.